Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, you've had some career. Talk to me about going from a 19-year-old roof thatcher working for your uncle to then becoming one of the biggest YouTube stars in the UK. It's mad.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, really. I started as a roof thatcher, and then I started making videos as a bit of a hobby on the side. And this is going back 10 years ago now. So YouTube and online was a very different place. There wasn't many people as there are now using online and YouTube and things like that. So it just sort of really took off and snowballed. And 10 years later, it's just opened up all these different opportunities and things like that. So yeah, it's been incredible.
Certainly, look at this. We're just looking at your. You say whirlwind. It's absolutely the case.
Yeah.
But you had some moments as you were crossing over. Like, it's 6 million followers on YouTube, a massive following. You were still working a couple of days a week on the roof with your Uncle Gary, but at the same time,
yes,
going over to you had massive opportunities at the same time.
Yeah, it was very unusual because there'd be days where I would be summoned to London to work with different people and do all these things through YouTube. And I'd have to say to my Uncle Gary, do you mind if I have another day off this week to go up to London? And he'd be like, well, we've got to get this ridge finished. Like, I can't keep letting you have days off. And then I think he's kind of glad that he did now, because I think he would have regretted it otherwise.
It's certainly working out. The thing, though, in your line of work, and particularly with millions of followers, is that they want more. They're always looking for more. You need to be giving them more content. And you will be spending no more than us during the ad break on all your time on the phone, updating, checking your stats. Yeah. Did you ever find at times then that it's like, I'm spending more time in the Black Mirror than I am engaged in the real world?
Yeah, I mean, I got completely addicted to my phone to the point where, the first thing I did in the morning was wake up and open up all my apps, go through it all, and then I'd end up being in a circle or cycle, just going through the same apps again and again to refresh to see if anything had happened in that 5 minutes that had passed or 10 minutes. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you're not getting out of bed till like an hour after you're meant to. And I was like, I think this is where I'm starting to go wrong. I think this is a bit of an issue. So yeah, I was a phone addict.
Yeah.
So talk to us about where the love then of kind of putting the phone down and getting into the garden, because that's obviously what the book is about, which I have here. Where did the love of gardening come from?
Do you know what? I think it's always been sort of, no pun intended, planted in me from like a young age. I was very lucky to have grown up in a small little village, and my parents were keen gardeners. And I think I've always been around it, but I didn't appreciate it as much when I was younger. And I think there's sort of the last sort of couple of years, especially with the lockdowns and, being allowed one walk a day, I think that really sort of hit home as to how important it is to be out in nature and to appreciate nature. And it was very good for like mental health and just sort of feeling good. And also, I think that whole thing about being out in nature is really, really important for us.
Was that conscious? Because obviously you say, somebody who spends most of their life online, you are now kind of saying to people, no, let's get outside. And I think a lot of people felt that during lockdown and just needing to put, like Ray said, put the Black Mirror away. Was that a conscious decision to kind of say, I'm online, but we need to also step away from it?
Yeah, I think I've always had those tendencies, even before the lockdowns and stuff. If I had a new video to upload, but it was a really, really nice day, and, we don't get that many nice days of weather. So I was like, if it is like a really, really nice day, I used to always say, look, you can watch my video whenever. Although it's kind of part of my job to be like, stay inside and watch my stuff all the time, I never really felt comfortable with that. So I was always like, look, it's a nice day, go outside, enjoy your day. The video will always be there when you come back. Do you know what I mean? So that was always my kind of like ethos with the online world. But I think, I think there did become a time where I was getting more and more sort of, it became more of a thing for me I think it's important to find that balance within yourself, but also to sort of help others as well, to find that balance of how much screen time is good. Because the thing is, social media it's so big and it's such an important thing still in our lives. I mean, I think even the last 2 years proved how important it is in terms of staying in contact with friends and family and things like that. So yeah, but it's just about finding that balance about how much screen time is good for you and how much getting out in nature and real life time is also so important.
It's interesting you talk about balance because, like, you're obviously still doing your gig. You still have your followers. You're still active and engaging online. It's still a thing that you're doing. This is another element. This is another thing that, and I suppose everyone can find another element. In your case, it's gardening. Tell us about where did the book then come from? Because not only will we be gardening, but we'll be reading a hardback paper book in our gardens while you're getting our fingers trained. It's not a manual though, as such, is it?
No, not really. It's part memoir, part practical guide on sort of how to reconnect with nature and find that sort of balance. And I think so. It's quite. I mean, I'm no professional gardener, so a lot of it is sort of like entry level stuff, and it's more about sort of trying to find being out in nature and getting in the garden or going on walks and making it part of like your routine and a hobby, and encouraging others to sort of go out and find hobbies that aren't necessarily online based. I think that's key to sort of finding that sort of good balance in your life. But yeah, I mean, we all know someone who is addicted to their phones or spending too much time online. So I think hopefully it's going to help them find something that works for them.
Yeah.
And I kind of love the way it's like you say, it's part memoir, part getting into a new hobby. We can't let you go here without talking a little bit about Strictly.
Yes.
What an experience it was for you getting all the way right towards the end. The podcast that you host, are you back this year for this year's season?
Yes, I am back this year. Yeah, with Kim, my host, my co-host, and it's brilliant. It's been another amazing year. I'm super excited to see everyone do their first dances, and it's happening very soon.
Do you still get nervous? You know, your partner Diane is a professional dancer. You know,
Yes.
You know what it's like to be on the dance floor. You know that pressure of what it's like, every single week in, week out. Do you still kind of watch and kind of get nervous for her and the partner she has?
I do every year, even just hearing the music. Sometimes I hear that sort of, because I'm up there a lot of time doing the podcast in the studio, and it plays the music when they're about to go on. It's like dancing the foxtrot. And even then, even though it's not my dance, I still get that sort of that feeling in my chest of, oh no, here we go. Let's just hope this next 1 minute 30 just goes somewhat to plan. But yeah, I do always get nervous for her. For her, it's a new student every year, so you've got to kind of change the way you teach each year. You know how to dance yourself because you're a professional, but it's a new student who understands how to dance and the information differently. So I'm always on the edge of my seat every year, as I'm sure I'm sure everyone is.
Oh yeah, da 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 da. Thinking palpitations.
Don't.
PTSD is real.
She was your dance partner, right? She was your professional partner, is that right? Yeah. So
Yes.
Yes. You've stayed together since. So this is it. People used to go on Tinder. Now they go on Strictly. To find the life part. And you're still going strong. Everything's going well for you on that front.
Yeah. Do you know what? There was a point in my life where I think it's going to be the way, isn't it? I'm going to find my other half on Tinder, like a lot of people do. Yeah. I'm actually it's quite nice to say, I met my partner on the dance floor.
That's such
very
a story.
Old-fashioned almost.
Yeah, such a story. Joe, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Joe's book, Grow, is available online and in all good bookshops now.
Cheers, Joe.
Thanks for having me.